Hello student, welcome to SST Pathshala. Today we are exploring one of the most important chapter in Indian medieval history, the Delhi Sultanate. Let's dive into the story of how Turk established a power empire in India that ruled for more than 3 centuries. So we are going to the see first table of content. So here I have the introduction, source of Delhi Sultanate and Turkish invention. So Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish. So like this, we have the all topic in this chapter as cover in this one video. So now we are going to the see introduction of this chapter. The Delhi Sultanate began in late 12th century. It all started when Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the Second Battle of Tarain, 1192. Some after his trusted slave Qutbuddin Aibak to control of Delhi. This marked the beginning of the Muslim rulers in northern India and the founder of the Delhi Sultanate. So now we see the source of the Delhi Sultanate. So our knowledge about the Delhi Sultanate come from the various parts in chronological coins like inscription and architectures. So important historians like Ziauddin Barni and Amir Khusro wrote the detailed accounts of the sultans. Rules give our deep insight into the politics, culture, and economics of that time. Now, early Turkish invention. The Turkish invention under Muhammad of Ghazni and later Muhammad Ghori. The way for Islamic rule in India, they not only raided the temples for their wealth, but also built the foundation of the long-term rule through military, campaign, and administration settlement. Now, Qutbuddin Aibak. The Qutbuddin Aibak, originally a slave, became an independent ruler after the Muhammad Ghori death in 1260. He constructed architecture marvel like a Qutub Minar and laid the base of the Delhi Sultanate. His reign was short-lived and was succeeded by the Aram Shah. Now, Iltutmish. Next come Iltutmish, who was one of the just capable ruler but also the real consolidator of the Sultanate. He complete Qutub Minar and introduced the Iqta system, giving land grant in exchange of the services. He was the first to receive formal recognition from the Caliph of the Baghdad, thus strengthening his legitimacy. Now we see the Razia Sultan. In a bold move, Iltutmish nominated his daughter Razia Sultan as his successor. She ruled of the 1236 to 1214 and broke all norm by becoming the first and only female ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Despite her talent and faced still opportunities in options from noble and was eventually overthrown. Now we see the Balban. Then come the Balban who ruled there 1266 to 1287. He believed in throne of the central authorities, strong and crushed the power of the nobles. He introduced the ideas of the Jille Ilahi, that the king of the shadow of God. His thought strength ensured discipline and the order of the empire. So now we see the Khalji Dynasty introduction. In 1219, the Khalji Dynasty come into power. It began with Ziauddin Khilji, but the most powerful ruler was Alauddin Khilji, known of his military consequence and economic reforms. Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji rules from 1296 to 1316. He stopped Mongol invasion and expanded his empire into South India. He introduced market reform to control, and his rule marked the peak of the Khilji power. Now, Tughlaq Dynasty. After the Khilji, the Tughlaq come on the power in the 1320. Ziauddin Tughlaq and Ghayasuddin Tughlaq. So Ghayasuddin Tughlaq was the founder, but the dynasty is the better known as the ruler like a Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq also known as the ambitious ideas but failed execution. He issued token currency made of the copper, which led the widespread for currency. So he even shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, and India that failed the cause great suffering. Now Firoz Shah Tughlaq That rule of the 1351 to 1388, he focused on the public welfare, building canal, irrigation, hospital, and school also. He also imposed a jizya tax on non-Muslim and snow keen interested in the architecture and educations. So now Tamur invention in 1398, Delhi faced the major blow when the Tamur, a Mongol invader, attacked the plunder and city. This invention severely weakened the Tughlaq Dynasty and marked the beginning of the end of their rules. Now, Sayyid Dynasty. After Taimur departure, the Sayyid Dynasty was established in 1440. So, it was dynasty remained weak and had a very short reign, lasting until 1451. The final ruling dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate was the Lodi dynasty. It began with Bahlol Lodi. In 1451, his grandson Ibrahim Lodi was defeated by the Babur in First Battle of Panipat in 1526, which ended the Sultan and marked the beginning of the Mughal Empire. The Sultan followed a centralized form of monarchy. The Sultan held absolute power. Nobles and regions leaders like Uleman played important advisory role. The empire was divided into the province managed by the governors. The Delhi Sultanate maintained a large standing army. Alauddin Khilji introduced horse branding in the ensure efficiency. The military was supervised by the officer called Ariz I Mamlik. The system of ensure control and the discipline. And the land revenue system, the Sultan collected the land revenue by measuring lands and fixing tax accordingly. Reform and revenue assessment were the initiated especially during the Khilji and Tughlaq periods. Architecture. The Delhi Sultanate gave a beautiful Indo-Islamic Indian style noble monument and include the Qutub Minar by Qutbuddin Aibak and Iltutmish and the Alai Darwaza, the Hausa Khas. The Sultan laid the foundation of the centralized administration in India. It also contributed the growth of the Indo-Islamic culture, art, architecture, and new styles of governance like would later influence the Mughals. The important terms, let's understand few important terms. Ikta, land given in the nobles and revenue collections. The amirs and the nobles, Sultan, the king of rulers, and jizya, a tax imposed by the non-Muslim. Now let's see the timeline recap. The slave dynasty like Aibak, Iltutmish and Razia, Khilji dynasty, Alauddin Khilji, Tughlaq dynasty, Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah Tughlaq, Sayyid dynasty, weak successor, and Lodi dynasty ended with the Babur inventions. The Delhi Sultanate transformed the Indian's political structure, cultural landscape, and architecture style. It paved the way for new administration practices and set the stage for the mighty Mughal Empire that followed. Now we have the key line and timelines in this chapter. The political centralized during the Ekta system, military reform, culture, fusion of the Indian and Turko-Afghanistan tradition, Persian and language promotion, Raja Sufism and Bhakti movement, architecture, arc, domes and raid, sandstone monument and Qutub Minar and also Tughlaqabad fort. Now, thank you for all of you watching this video. If you have enjoyed learning about this Delhi Sultanate, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for the more educational history video like ISST Pathshala. See you the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.